Hey friends, it's Judy Klock here in Stampin' Up. Backtrack. I am in Middletown, Virginia, and I am your Stampin' Up demonstrator here tonight for another video tutorial. Now, I am pre-recording this because there's another meeting I have to go to tonight, so I wanted to make sure that I got this done before I went to my other meeting. So today, on Monday, I asked what people would like me to work with. Either it was a choice between sweet peas or racing by, and by an overwhelming majority, everyone wanted to see the sweet pea stamp set. So we're going to be working with this set tonight, and then next Thursday, I'll do a tutorial featuring the racing by. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. We're going to do a simple stamping card where we've got nothing but stamps, inks, and paper. And we're going to color these with our Stampin' blends. And then we're going to do something a little more stepped up. We've got these beautiful die cut circles. These are from the Spotlight on Nature dies set. And we're going to color this with our watercolor pencils and our blender pens. So for this one, it was interesting. I'm participating in a card a day in May challenge. And one of the themes this week was monochromatic. So you know me, I love my green, as you can tell by my green shirt, my little green beads and my earrings. So I knew I wanted to do a green monochromatic card, and I figured green would be perfect for the sweet pea stamp set. So I took out my trusty color wheel here that I got at on stage, and I knew that I wanted to use Granny Apple Green as my main color. So that I went one to the left, which gave me Lemon Lime Twist, and one to the right, which gave me Old Olive. So I knew those would work well together because they're so close on the color wheel. Now, in your catalog, there is a color wheel printed. It's on one of the pages towards the back. I don't remember exactly what page it is on, but you can also look, and now it won't have this fancy little spinny piece, and it won't have the information on the back, but you can still use it to get an idea of what colors, excuse me. It's allergy season, and I tell you, my allergies are just out of control. Anyway, back to the color wheel. So even though it may not have all of this fancy stuff, you can still use it to kind of figure out what colors will work well with each other, especially if you want to do a monochromatic card or something where they're complementary or whatever you want to use. So use this resource in your catalog. It's really good and will help you kind of with your card making planning. Okay, so let's get started. So we have here a piece of our Granny Apple Green. This is 8.5 by 5.5. I have scored it at 4 1/4, obviously. I have a piece of basic white, and that is 5 1/4 by 4. Then I have a piece of our Lemon Lime Twist. This is 4 1/4 by 3. 4 1/4 by 3. Then we've got our Old Olive, that is 4 1/4 by 2.5. And our basic white, that is 4 1/4 by 2. So those are all just going to layer up on top of one another. All right, so I wanted to add some interest to this piece, and knowing that it was a simple stamping card, I really didn't want to have to use die cuts or punches or embossing folders because I really just wanted it to be stamps, inks, and paper. So we've got these great images here. We've got this big leaf and this little leaf, and I am going to use these to create sort of my own background image on the card. All right, so I am going to take this, and I am just going to randomly stamp my big leaf on my card front. Okay, some here, maybe one there, okay, some there. Now be careful when you stamp off on the glass mat because the ink will stick onto the mat, so you don't want to get it on your card. And I should have put paper down before I started this, but you know, hindsight's 20/20, right? So I just wanted to come down and get this started. So it doesn't really matter where you stamp them, just get them on there. It's all good. And again, remember that middle piece is going to be kind of hidden, so we really won't see that, excuse me, too much. Again, I do apologize. My allergies are just a little bit out of control. So why we have this out, I am going to stamp. We're going to make a little baby card. Isn't that cute? The little baby sweet pea. And we are going to stamp this little nugget right over here on our white cardstock. You see that? And then we're going to stamp Welcome Sweet Pea. Isn't that just so cute? Little fun fact, I do call my daughter Sweet Pea, even though she is an adult. It was her little nickname as a child. And sometimes we still call her that. Okay. All right. Now I've got my blends here. Let me put this away. We're done with our stamping. So let's put that away before I make a very big mess. All right, so I've got, I speak really well today. I've got my Granny Apple Green blends, both the light and the dark, and I have my Old Olive Light. So I'm going to color down here. We've got kind of like the, I don't know, where it would like be on the stalk. We're going to color this with our Old Olive. Okay, and if you wanted to go darker, you could certainly go darker. And I'm just going to kind of color these little leaves here. And that's just going to be, and normally you would do this with our Memento Tuxedo Black ink, but I thought the black was just a little too harsh for the baby card. So I wanted it softer. So I just decided to do it in the Granny Apple Green. So again, it's just a personal choice, but I think it works well. I wanted this to be a little bit soft because it's a baby card. And sometimes that black can just be very harsh. All right, now I'm going to take my dark Granny Apple Green, and we're going to color the outside of like the pea pod itself. Okay, we're going to color this in the dark. I wanted that little pea inside to be light. So we're going to color that with the light Granny Apple Green. But this is just so cute. I just love it's, you know, you can't help but be happy. And it's got like, next one we're going to use a birthday card. And then it's also got like a frowny pea. And the message says grumpy. And obviously it's all spelled with the PEA. So it's just very cute, very cute. So I was joking with my daughter. She was in a bad mood the other day. I said, I'm going to make you a card that says, hello, Grumpy. She thought that was mean. I thought it was funny. I'm hilarious. My daughter doesn't appreciate my sense of humor, but what can I say? All right, so now I'm going to color the pea itself with the light Granny Apple Green. So you can see this card's going to go together pretty quickly. And now I did want to accent this with something. And of course you could add like a little wink of Stella to the stamped image if you wanted, but I wanted to add some love. So I just took my Petal Pink Stampin' Right marker and I just kind of freehanded some hearts. Okay, because why not? All right, and I'm just going to freehand about 3 hearts. And then I'm just going to come back and I'm going to color them. So, I mean, they're not great. They're not symmetrical, but I think you'll get the idea. They don't have to be perfect. So for those of you who want everything to be perfect, this may not be the method for you, but there's no reason why you can't freehand some stuff. Just use what you have. There was no little heart thing in here. I'm like, I kind of want some hearts on this. And I just went ahead and freehanded them. Okay, and then I'm going to color that in. Let's go up there. And that is all the stamping and coloring and everything. Let's fix this one. Let's fix this side of the heart. There we go. All right. So now we've got our little hearts on there. Now we're ready to go layer everything up. So I'm going to add the Old Olive to our lemon lime twist. And if you are watching this, obviously it's on replay because I am not live tonight. But go ahead and let me know where you are tuning in from. I just, I'm nosy. I like to know where people are watching from. So go ahead and just leave me a little comment and, tell me where you're watching from. And, let me know what you think of the cards. This is going to be one of the optional classes that you can add on to our Stampalooza, our creative retreat that's coming up in September. There will be more information coming on June 1st. That's when registration opens. And if you are on my email list, which there will be a link below this video after it posts, you will get the information maybe even a day or two early. So, because we are really, really limited on space. It's our first time doing it, so we went with, a little bit of a smaller venue. Just, we didn't want to be too grandiose in our dreams, but I think that we will manage to fill up the venue. Let's go ahead and add that piece of basic white to the inside. Again, this is just something I like to do. I think it gives the card a finished look. I mean, certainly this cardstock is light enough that you could just write on the cardstock, but I just think that piece of basic white just really makes it look more polished. And then we're going to take our ribbon here. This is our silver edged ribbon. This is a great ribbon. It makes a great bow. I say that now. I'm probably not going to be able to tie it because, live, well, taped, whatever. Demonstration. Whenever you're doing a demo, it always seems to want to be a little problematic. There we go. Pull it. Now I just kind of play with it until I get the loops kind of the size I want. It just takes a little bit of patience. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's get a scissor. Let's trim these down. Okay, trim that down. And then we're going to take a glue dot and we're going to add this to our card front with a glue dot, and then we will call this one done. So again, let me know what you think. We're just going to put that right there. And there we've got a sweet little baby card. Again, I mean, other than the hearts, it's really sort of gender neutral, but who doesn't love a new baby? So you got to have those little love hearts on there because we're so happy to welcome new little ones into the family. So that is it for our first card. Again, very simple. We kind of created our own background there with the stamps and the set. And that's it. All right, let's go on to our second card. Okay, let's put that over there for a minute. Put all this stuff off to the side. Now our second card, we've used our Spotlight on Nature dies, and unfortunately I put them away. But I used, the two layering ones, and the Spotlight on Nature, they have different edges. They have like the dot and the dash. They have like the radiating stitches and one that looks more like a flower. So I went with the dot and dash. I just thought that was pretty for this card. Okay, so I've got my card base here. It is Balmy Blue. Again, standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I've got a piece of our basic white for the inside. I've got a piece of Blueberry Bushel for the front, and these are both 5 1/4 by 4. And then I've got a piece of our Designer Series paper. Now, this is from the new Designer Series paper pack. It's in the catalog. This is the Full of Life. It's a 6 by 6 pack. It's full of life. I bought it because the colors are very beautiful. The patterns are a little bit difficult, I think, to use with some of the sets I have, because I did not buy the bundle. I just bought the DSP. So, just, beware. It's certainly very different. All right, so let's go ahead. Now, here we're going to do the birthday party people. And we've got two. We've got our trio of partiers with party hats and noisemakers. And then we've got our solo partier with just a party hat on. He's got a party hat and a noisemaker. And we've got Happy Birthday. I probably should have put these on blocks before we got started, but oh well. All right, so this I am going to stamp in our Memento Tuxedo Black because I am going to be using watercolor pencils and our blender pens. So for the inside, I'm going to stamp our little solo P. He's going to go right there in the corner. And he's ready to party on the inside. And then on the outside, we're going to stamp our trio of partiers. Okay. Just make sure I get that thing. I really do need to re-ink my. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to stamp. There's this other little tiny fill-in stamp. It's like 3 little, it almost looks like diamonds. I'm not honestly sure what they are. But we are going to stamp these around. It just kind of added in because there's a lot of white space on this. So I just kind of wanted to fill in a little bit. Okay. And then on our paper, we're going to stamp, and I'm going to stamp that in our blueberry bushel, just because I wanted it to be really stand out. We're going to stamp that happy birthday just in that lower right-hand corner, right on your designer series paper. Don't ever be afraid to stamp right on your designer series paper. Okay. And there we've got our happy birthday. I just thought the blueberry bushel might stand out better than the tuxedo black. So that was my thought process anyway. We'll see how it works out. All right, let's go ahead. Now we're going to do a little bit of coloring. So let's start with our little birthday guy on the inside. We're going to color him. I've got my old olive pencil, and some of these are from watercolor assortment 1, and some of them are from watercolor assortment 2. And I think he might be from 1. Yeah, he is definitely from assortment number 1, this old olive. And then I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green later, and that's from assortment number 2. Okay, so we've got him. Now let's go here. I'm going to color his hat. Let's color his hat. Let's see what we got here. We got Balmy Blue. Let's color some of the stripes on his hat with Balmy Blue. And we'll color some of the other stripes with, we do have Daffodil Delight. Let's go with Daffodil Delight, because blue and yellow work well together. So I need to sharpen these. All right, so now I want to smooth out my pencil lines. I'm going to take my blender pen, and I'm just going to kind of go over my pencil marks, and that kind of fills it in more and just kind of smooths out those rough pencil lines. So these blender pens are really good when you're working with watercolor pencils. Okay, now I just got to clean this off. So when you want to get the color off, you just take a piece of scrap paper and wipe the tip on it, and it will take the color off the tip, and you're good to go on your next color. So I'm going to use the blues next. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the yellow. Okay, but cleaning off that tip in between each color is so important. All right, let's put our blender pen aside for now, and let's color the front of our card. So I'm going to color these little squiggly things. I'm just going to put a little bit of old olive in them. Okay. All right, we got that. These are tiny, so they're really hard to see. Now I'm going to color the outside, the pea pod itself, with our old olive. And then I'm going to color the peas inside in Granny Apple Green. We're going to make them lighter. I think I might have done the reverse on my demonstration card, but I'm switching it around for this. So we're just going to color this. It doesn't take long. Again, you don't have to be precise, because we're going to come back with that blender pen, and that is really going to fill in any blank spaces. So I'm not really being too concerned that I get all of the white, because I know I can come back with my blender pen and blend that white space out. So now I'm just going to color my little peas. If you want to make these all different colors, you can. You can. It's your card. You can always do whatever you want. There's no reason that says you need to do it exactly like I do it. If you want to make your peas, I don't know, pink, yellow, and purple, go ahead and make your peas pink, yellow, and purple. There's honestly no right or wrong way to do this. And that is the beauty of being creative, is that you can make it be whatever you want it to be. Okay, Sometimes it's really hard to see these, but doing our best. Okay. I'm just going to keep the party hat to the same colors, just for continuity's sake. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and take our blender pen back. Right, we're just going to color again, just lightly on these little ones. They're very tiny, so we don't need to do a lot. We just kind of want to smooth out those pencil lines. Now let's come up here and do the same thing with our Old Olive. Again, stick with one color at a time. So my little squiggly lines were with Old Olive. So now I'm going to come and do the Old Olive that's on my pea pod. And you'll see it, the white spaces are getting filled in. Those pencil lines are getting smoothed out. So this is a really good way to use those watercolor pencils with our blender pens. I'm going to come over here and just wipe off my tip. Okay, and then I'm going to come and I'm going to do my granny apple green, my little peas. Okay, get this little guy down there. And again, just, color it in, bring it around, bring that color around from that pencil around, fill in those extra white spaces. Okay, let's do our blue lines. Okay, so I was just saying, this will be one of the optional classes for Stampalooza, is a Sweet Pea class. You will get the stamp set and 4 make and takes to work on your own. That's an on your own project. It's for Friday. We've got some optional classes that you can sign up for on Friday. So it's going to be a good time. And you're getting a goodie bag with like over $80 worth of product in it. And there's surprises, and there's bingo games, and there's prize patrols, and all that kind of good stuff. So, all right, I'm going to take my piece of basic white and I'm going to put it on the inside. All right, I'm going to take my blueberry bushel. Let's move our finished card out of the way. Take our blueberry bushel and add that to our card front. All right, I'm going to add our piece of Designer Series paper to our card front. Ooh. Okay, there we go. And last but not least, I'm going to add these. I'm going to add this white circle to the blue circle with Stampin' Seal. And then I'm going to put the blue circle on with Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, we've got that. Let's get our Stampin' Dimensionals. Oh, I got edge pieces, but edge pieces are just as good. Don't be afraid to use up every last bit of your dimensionals. Edge pieces will work just as well as the pre-cut shapes. So use them up. All right. Just make sure you take off the coverings. Usually I mark them up so I know that my coverings are on or off. All right, so I'm going to do that. Now, one last thing. It doesn't really need a lot of bling, but I am going to take a little bit of Wink of Stella and another little tip. Whenever you're starting your Wink of Stella, don't do it over your card. Do it on a piece of scrap paper to get it going. Make sure the color comes out that. And that's why you don't want that big blob on your card. So now that I know it's coming out, now I can just go over my little peas and get my little people, my pea people shiny. And there you go. And that is our second card, our little bit of a stepped up card. So we had our stamps, inks, and paper card. I don't know where it is. And then our stepped up card featuring the adorable Sweet Pea stamp set. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm glad that you're here. Again, this is pre-recorded today, so let me know if you're watching it. Let me know what you think of these cards. If you'd like more information about Stampalooza, which is coming up September 20th and 21st in Winchester, Virginia, please go ahead and just leave me a message and I will respond to you with the information. Registration opens June 1st. There are only 35 spots available. That's it. So once we are full, we are full. But we've got some great classes. We've got technique classes lined up for you. We've got the optional classes. We've got a couple of sessions of make and take. We've got pajama bingo. We've got a shoebox swap. We've got prize patrols. We've got goodie bags. We've got table gifts. We've got a lot of stuff coming at you. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a great weekend. I will see you all next Thursday. Thanks so much. Happy stamping.